In February 2019, CARICOM heads of government called for the development of a regional migration policy in coordination with relevant United Nations agencies. Since then, regional stakeholders have been collaborating on the development of the policy led by the CARICOM Secretariat with technical support from the International Organization for Migration.
Caribbean people have been moving for quite a bit, and there are several formalized movements happening through CSME. There was movements happening through irregular migration, what we term as irregular migration.
People have been moving more than ever before for even more reasons. Some of it is forced through civil conflict, political issues, economic issues, and they're moving more than ever. You see migration everywhere in the news. And the issue about human rights is becoming more and more salient, about protecting the human rights of foreign nationals on soil.
Heads of government had decided to regularize the process by ensuring the creation of a migration policy, and of course our ministers of foreign affairs also weighed in terms of how that policy should be ruled out.
This policy framework can help provide a basis of international standards while taking into consideration the regional context and the commitments that the countries have made for treaties, conventions, and other commitments they've made, both nationally, regionally, and globally.
What we've done so far is really to look at the responsibilities and the mandates for migration within the Caribbean institutions, as well as those responsible for migration within the UN organized system. And we've been able to marry those two together based on the mandate, again, from the heads, which would allow us to first create a steering committee, keeping it tight at the top, looking at overshadowing the process and how we develop the policy in itself. And of course, we created some advocacy groups which would be providing advice to the other groups in terms of the technical expertise that is required. Member states, we recognize, were at different points along the trajectory. And one of the first things that we were able to mobilize was a survey last year which looked at member state priorities. There were some gaps uncovered, and this year we are looking to close those gaps by introducing the technical support for the creation of a migration grouping, if you want to call it, within member states, because quite a lot of ministries in member states aren't specifically targeted on migration. So those were some really incredible highlights, and of course we've gotten incredible buy-in from those institutions that we've done so far. So we've now taken it back out to the citizens of the member states so that they can tell us what they want for their migration policy.